This is Crusher Twice, and I'm glad you're here. I just got my SharKa-50 control panel from Virpil. As I'm not going to put it on the top of my desk or use a clamp mounting bracket, I decided to make a mounting plate for it to fit my sim setup. I found a piece of sheet metal that was left over from another project in my garage. This is what I used to make the new mounting plate. To start out, I marked up where I needed to cut it into the shape I needed it to be. To get this going, I had to clamp it down to my workhorse in the garage, and then I cut the panel to the desired shape using a cut-off disc on my angle grinder. Here goes Sparky! A bit of filing along the rough edges, and all is good to go. Looks pretty good to me. Time to get back to my little machining center. Taking the measurement from the control panel's backplate, I scribed, marked, and drilled all the mounting holes. After that, I did a quick fitting test and double-checked that everything was lining up correctly. Back in the garage was the piece. I clamped it down to create a shallow scoring line right where I needed to bend. Next, I clamped the plate down on my bending brake. You don't want this guy to move at the wrong time, that's for sure. Got to put some muscle into it to show that plate to his boss and a few tugs. And it's good enough for an eye over thumb measurement. After removing the C-clamps, I could see a nice clean bend. Next was back to my little machining center. Chamfered the bolt holes for a nice clean finish, and again sanding, my favorite sport. Next was sanding the edges on my trusty little belt sander. Just a little... Okay, back in business. After a quick belt change, sanding was then finally complete. Ready for paint. Back in the garage, I'm getting the plate ready for paint. Gave it a good wipe down with some acetone to remove the greasy mess I have left. Then a few quick shots of truck bed coating, and I let it hang overnight to dry. Mounting the new plate onto the control panel was next. I then took off the left and right foot brackets, as I would not be needing them anymore. Then it was just a matter of bolting the new plate onto the back of the control panel. I made sure everything was well secured with some final tightening. And now it was ready to be mounted on my desk setup. As you can see in my desk setup, I use 4040 and 8040 T-slotted extruded aluminum profile. So I started with inserting the T-slot nuts into the profile bar for mounting the control panel. These nuts have an M8 threaded hole and are super easy to use. They are spring-loaded and stop by just dropping them into the profile, aligning them and bolt whatever you want to it. I aligned all the nuts, getting the bolts through the plate holes, and tightened everything up. For those sharp angles, a long hex driver with a ball end came in handy. To get it real tight, I used a ground down Allen wrench, my little shorty I call it, and the SharKa-50 panel is good to go. The aluminum profiles allow me to mount almost everything I can think of, and also lend themselves for readjustment. Perfect for afterthoughts and high-sided people like me, who do many things by the seat of their pants. As always, I am planning more projects in the future, so please keep an eye out for my next video. Hope you all enjoyed this build, and I hope I earned a like from you. Follow me on Twitter. Crash Me Twice, out.